I'm a very sane individual, and I think half the reason is because I'm always kind of getting rid of an emotion that might otherwise plague me in some way or create like an internal trauma. I'm able to express it, you know, to get it out. And the typical job, and I'm not dissing it because people need to work, you know, I'm not saying they don't. I just couldn't do it. Like, I would freak out. In my 20s, I didn't really care about money or success. I just was kind of chasing a moment in music that happens when you are playing with people that you really like playing with. That's all. I didn't even think about the idea of like being successful. It's like pre-internet, pre-ability to just put your own stuff out there. So I didn't even think about like, oh, I should hit up a label or something. It wasn't even in my mind. But then I got into electronic music. I heard an Autechre album, Char Repete, and it like blew my mind because they were doing something that I was looking for in music, but they were doing it with like synthesizers. And yeah, that record just totally changed everything in terms of the way I want to approach music. And I just love making music. Like, I like writing songs, so I never am not writing a song. And so it's always natural that I just kind of have a record on the go. So just, yeah, it's kind of, that's like my life, you know? That's how I live. I never think about records like, oh, this is going to be an amazing record, or it's going to do well. It's not really in my personality to be like that. I'm more like, do I like what I made? Do I believe in that song? I played this festival in Spain, and it was at an opera theater. There was a lot of people there, and I decided to do it solo on the stage by myself. And I get there, and I just didn't realize it was going to be as big as it was. And I literally was terrified. Like, I've never felt that level of terror before going on a stage, or just in general. I've never felt that kind of terror. I was so like just terrified. And it was before I went on stage, I was like, I'm never doing this to myself again. Like, I'm never going on stage by myself and winging it. And it just kind of made me readjust the way I look at live performances and how I want to have people around me, so there's all this dynamic in the set, and there's all these things that people can pay attention to rather than just me when I'm on stage. It is so much pressure. It was crazy. And it was a good show in the end, but the first song was terrible, and then I got into it, and then it became good. I think I won the crowd over by singing, and I made it really vocal, and it really pushed me to realize that, though, if I can be vocal, that's where I can draw people in to a show. I think it's really inspiring creatively to travel around and see different cultures, see how different people live, see, I don't know, because you always have these, I don't know, misconceptions about places that they're not your fault, but they're kind of like Mexico. It's like, I didn't know Mexico City was going to be like it is. You think it's Amores Perros, the movie, you know, and it's not. It's like a totally amazing city that, I don't know, I just thought it was way more dangerous. Yeah, it was just like amazing. The crowd is very uniquely Mexican. There was a moment at one of the shows where people were singing along so loud, I actually couldn't sing because I couldn't hear myself on stage with monitors. Like, they were literally overwhelming me. It was a really crazy show in terms of, I was not expecting that. I didn't know if people even knew who I was, you know. We sold that out so fast. They were over capacity, I think 200 people or something in Mexico City, and we're definitely going back. And yeah, I just had a great time playing. It was super cool. You get connections with people when you're traveling with music that's different than as a tourist. You're very isolated as a tourist. You're kind of like, first of all, you have tourist eyes on. You know, you don't even notice the cracks in the buildings. You know, you're just like, wow, everything's crazy. But I think the conversations you get to have with people, and I've stayed at people's homes and stuff, and I've that you would never stay at their home, you know, like a promoter's like, I just stay at my house instead. And you end up being able to sit up with someone and talk all night about their country versus your country, and it's super cool. It's just a very unifying thing, music. I mean, look, we're talking right now, you're in my house talking because of music. Music's cool.